welcome to Head to Head Sports. This is Brian Parker along with Randall Hargrove. How you doing, sir?
Hey, what's going on, my man?
I'm good. I am good, man. So look, week one is in the bag.
Yeah.
What did you think? What was your first impressions about week one?
Well, staying here in Charlotte, I'm a Panthers fan too, but you also know I'm a Pittsburgh fan. So I watched both games. I was heavily involved in the Pittsburgh game, and
Mm-hmm.
quite surprised. That defense looks nasty.
Yes, they
Have
do.
you ever in your life seen any defense do that to Saquon Barkley?
6 yards rushing. But remember, I said they're going to do this to him because they're going to need him to be a multi-purpose back like McCaffrey is in Carolina. The difference is that Bridgewater is a little bit more capable of getting to his receivers and getting through his progressions. Daniel Jones looks confused. He don't know who to throw it to.
He ain't there
That one
yet.
pick that he threw was just crazy. I mean, it was a great pick though. He jumped in as soon as he turned to throw it. He's like, "Oh, let me step back." That was hilarious.
They don't get no easier than that one, man.
It's gonna be a long season.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you Giants fans, but as a Pittsburgh fan, I was thrilled at what I saw.
I was even happier though to see Mr. Roethlisberger just look. I mean, he looked rejuvenated.
That's the thing that I was happy to see too, man.
Wow, man. Yeah.
There's no loss of strength in that arm. Woo. He was throwing deep balls. He was throwing out routes to the sidelines, and those are the toughest routes to throw without getting picked off. Mm-hmm. My man was throwing back shoulder fades.
I saw
this is
dimes.
Week one with no preseason. Week one with no preseason.
Did you even see this stat too? Ben actually outrushed Saquon.
Saw that too.
he had 9 yards rushing.
Yeah, beat Saquon. If you had Saquon for your fantasy team, I hate it for you. Because you had a tough one.
Somebody took an L because they probably bet a lot on Saquon. Which I'm gonna be honest, going forward, if you've got a team that can put pressure on the quarterback and you can put 8 in the box, that's gonna probably be more the same.
Changes everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Yep.
Yeah.
You can't run the ball and you relying on a quarterback in Daniel Jones with some receivers that are not quite there yet. I mean, you're gonna have a tough night, and they definitely had a tough night.
I mean, what do you expect? He went to Duke. He's a Dookie, whatever.
Yep.
But speaking of your cardiac cats, what'd you think?
Look, if you're giving up 34 points to the Raiders, you're gonna have a long season.
And 3 touchdowns on the ground, right?
Yeah. You are gonna have a very, very long season. The Panthers, man, we all knew coming into this year that it's going to be a kind of a rebuilding year, a restart, but I think that got confirmed on week one.
Well, it was crazy because at one point they were up late in the game 30 to 27, but they just can't stop anybody.
That's it. Yep. When you score 30 points, that should be enough to beat the Raiders. I mean, it's the Raiders. The Raiders have no receivers whatsoever. They're starting 2 rookie wide receivers. And they're starting a 2nd-year running back, I believe, my man Jacobs. But there is no way that team should have put up the amount of points that they put up on your defense. Now, Carolina, we already know that they're weak at cornerback. The only bright spot I did see is the guy from West Virginia, and I'm forgetting his name right now. But he's a cornerback that they just picked up from came out of West Virginia. He was playing for Eagles last year. He looks pretty solid. As far as the other corners, if they don't get some help in there soon, you got the likes of Mike Evans coming up this week.
Woo!
Godwin on the other side for Tampa Bay.
God, stop.
that secondary is going to get roasted, man. And I'm looking at
Eli, was it Eli Apple you meant?
No, Eli Apple, he's on injured reserve right now.
Oh, okay.
He just picked up a cornerback, played for the Eagles last year, came from West Virginia. But that guy, in his first action, looked pretty solid. But
the Eagles,
like I was saying,
Russell
Douglas. Yes, he looked pretty solid. Number 24.
Yep.
The rookie on the other end, Troy Pride Jr., I mean, we saw him get burnt for a 23-yard touchdown. There's going to be a lot more of them coming. It's going to be a whole lot more.
If you got a bunch, and I wasn't so surprised by that because I expected that. What I didn't expect was the interior line to give up all these rushing gaps.
Oh, speaking of the interior line, how much pressure did they get on the quarterback? Zero stat line. 0 interceptions, 0 sacks. We all know what's going to happen in a game usually.
And that's with Derek Carr. Wait for Drew Brees.
Wait for Drew Brees.
Brady. Matt Ryan.
Brady. Look, when we were doing our predictions last week, I had the Cats going 0 for 6 inside the division. That ain't changing, bro.
No.
That ain't changing.
No. Not after I saw this division. No, I mean,
now, Carolina's offense, I was pleasantly surprised.
Me too.
Bridgewater looked pretty good.
He actually threw a nice long pass. Did you see him he just aired that thing out to my man from the Eagles? I mean, from the Jets, Robbie
Anderson. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
he put it right there in his lap.
Very solid quarterback. I don't believe he threw an interception. I got to go back and check the stat line of that.
No
picks, no turnovers. He played a Bridgewater type game. Got what we needed out of McCaffrey. McCaffrey was McCaffrey. I was pleasantly surprised to see him stepped back a little bit in the pass game, and Carolina actually using receivers for a change rather than McCaffrey.
Well, and to your point, he did spread it around. Robbie Anderson, 6 receptions. DJ Moore, 4 receptions. Kirko, 5 receptions. McCaffrey had 3. Ian Thomas had 2. Manhurts 1. Seth Roberts 1. So, you're right. They really did. Bridgewater even ran for 26 yards. So, he had 4 rushes.
Saw that one. Straight up the gut, kind of cannon.
He threw for 269 yards. Only got 1 passing touchdown because McCaffrey ran for 2. But 269 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks.
Offense is not the problem. Not the problem in Carolina.
He threw 34 times and he hit 22 of them.
There you go. I mean, that's pretty accurate.
That'll win you a game. That won Cam a game. Cam didn't even pass for 200 yards and he won. So
that will definitely win you a lot of games, especially when you don't turn the football over.
You don't turn the football over. And then if you can get your time of possession to be in your favor and you put up numbers like that, you're going to win the game.
Yep.
But when you can't stop anybody and it's just a shootout.
Yeah. And that was the Raiders, man. I mean, the Raiders do not have no prolific offense. They just don't. They haven't had no prolific offense since several years.
They got rid of Amari. They don't have anybody.
Ooh, that's a scary sign to come. Now, the only thing that I will say about the coaching part for the Carolina Panthers, what was that last call, man? What was that last call? 4th down in inches, and you're going to give it to a fullback.
Yes.
I believe that was his long carry of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you
that's
can't do no better than that, man. You got McCaffrey who's springing it left and right, whether he goes around the edge or through the hole. By the way, all those that said McCaffrey can't run through the gut, y'all better watch some tape. My man was laying the bumper on the
wasn't he?
Breaking tackle.
You look at his arms. He been bulking too.
Yes.
He ready not just to take some hits. He ready to lay some too.
Yeah, he was delivering some hits. But for them to call that play when the game is on the line, come on, man. Come on.
You know, sometimes you can be too cute when you're sitting there going, okay, they're probably going to be expecting that. So now we're gonna use him like a decoy.
We'll see how it work out. Now, I would like to see my man Mike Davis. He's a power running back that we got out of the Bears from last year. Excellent up the gut. My man's got crazy power. In situations like that, I'd like to see him utilized.
Yeah, like how we used to do with Tolbert.
Yes.
With the Tolldozer.
Or even way back in the day where you had what's his name? God, I'm bad with names. But you had the what they call themselves, the Thunder and the Lightning. Stewart was the power back.
And what was it? Stewart and Foster won, and then it was Stephen Davis and no, what's Stephen Davis? I know.
Yeah, not quite that far back.
Not that far back.
What's my man? He went to the Steelers after he left the Panthers.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
I do.
So, yeah, he was a quick guy, fast guy, running back from Memphis.
D'Angelo Williams.
Yep, he was the Lightning and Stewart was the Thunder. I'd like to see like some more utilization like that.
Yes.
That's what's really making the legs of these running backs last a lot longer nowadays, rather than just using one running back until the wheels fall off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that two-back set where they both can be very explosive and dynamic, or you just change them in and out. One's good for third down, one's good for your other downs. You can do that. McCaffrey can block and chip. So anytime you want to do the play action and you don't necessarily, you do the play action, he does the chip, he gets out in space, and now you got one of those nice little floaters in case you can't get to your receivers downfield.
Exactly. So I'd like to see some Mike Davis shifted into the personnel a little bit for this upcoming week, especially for power situations such as that one. He definitely could have helped us out. But yeah, off to an 0-1 start. It kind of sucks because if they're going to get a victory, that was the 1 week they should have got one.
Yeah, victories are going to come at a premium. So we definitely want to make sure that you win the ones you're supposed to win. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, are they really going for Trevor Lawrence?
Yo, man, after they lost that one game, I was like, tank the rest of the season for Lawrence. Just go ahead and do it.
But then it makes you think too, though, if Teddy manages the offense and you say, okay, offense isn't the problem. And I know that it's terrible after week one to start talking about draft position because after week one, everybody's still supposed to have their eyes wide open and be like, we all got a shot. But there's a lot of teams that you already can tell they ain't got a shot. This is going to be about draft positioning. And you don't want to encourage the players to tank the season. But my God, if Teddy Bridgewater manages this offense, would that even be a consideration? Even if they get like top 4 for a quarterback, or would you go defense?
No, we had 7 defensive picks last year, no offensive picks at all. So in terms of this upcoming draft, if we're in position to take Lawrence, I say you got to get him. Lawrence is special. He's special. He's not no everyday regular quarterback. The kid is special, and you can't pass on special. As for the rest, what we do with him down the line with Bridgewater's contract expiring and him coming on, how soon you do that? Do you re-sign Bridgewater to be a backup? All of that will sort itself out in the future. But you can't pass on special. Yep.
Yeah, well, Bridgewater, wasn't his contract like 3 years or something?
Yeah, I think it was actually 2 or 3 year deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it might be a problem that takes care of itself.
Yeah, that or the Will Greer experiment is going to come to an end.
You already know what I feel about Will Greer.
I do. All right, so listen. So not going too far off from Carolina in some ways. Let's talk about somebody that was QB1 at Carolina.
Yep.
Mr. Cameron Jarrell Newton.
Mr. Cam Newton.
Cam Newton.
Cam stepped up in New England, did his thing in week 1.
You know, a lot of people, and I've been, watching all the shows, and people thoughts on the New England game was this. Good win for Cam. But that is unsustainable to do what they did in
My
that
thoughts
game.
exactly. Yep, my thoughts exactly.
Like if your solution is this is the blueprint, then number one, Cam ain't gonna last but about 4 or 5 games because he gonna take a lot because he took a lot of hits. He didn't slide. He laid in again. And
Again,
I love Cam because Cam is a player. Cam don't make business decisions. Cam is a player. He ain't sliding. He gonna sit there and knock your head off if you try to tackle him. You know, he's 6'5", 240. He gonna hurt you. So
bad thing about that one is though, you got a lot of 6'5", 240 guys on the other side of the ball.
that want to shut you up so bad because they know you be talking a lot of smack. And
Oh my God,
they can get an open lick on you. Yeah, you gotta be but there's no way in the world. I think he ran like 15 times.
Yeah, 15 rushes. Like, come on, man. Cam is not a rookie Cam anymore.
And a lot of those were most of them were designed. It wasn't like he went through his progressions and then took off.
Yep.
It was hike, run. RPO, RPO. Hold it, don't hold it, hold, and then go with it. Yeah.
It's like
And it
the
reminded
Patriots
me when
got
he
themselves.
first started.
It's like the Patriots got
RPOs.
themselves like a brand new shiny toy, right? So it's like, oh my God, we could do all this stuff with this new toy that we were never able to do with Brady. Let's do this with them and do that with them, do that with them. But you can't play with the toy until the wheels fall off.
Exactly.
It's a long season. It's a long season, man.
Now I'll give it to him. He did throw up. He passed 19 times, which isn't a lot. Normally quarterbacks 30, 35, 40 times. Right. So he did half of that. He only had 155 yards. No passing touchdowns. However, no picks. Yep. And out of those 19 throws, he only missed 4. So he got 15. So he was very efficient. I think his QBR was like an 89. So he checked off all of those things, but he was the leading rusher on the team with 75 yards. Now, the crazy part is they average 5 yards a carry, which is crazy. But hey.
All of that is good. All of that is good. But like you were saying, your original point, not sustainable over 16 games. That way. Not going to happen, man. Not going to happen.
The thing I know about Belichick, though, is he designs his offense based on who they're playing in that next game. Yes. You get some coaches and they're a run-first offense, their defense and everything is one in the trenches, and it's going to be those low-scoring games that'll bore you to death because, nobody's scoring, and it's all about field position.
Right.
Belichick's goal is to look at what your team doesn't do well and take advantage of it. If that means running on you, he'll run on you. I've seen him run so much in one game, and then the next game, they barely ran the ball at all. They just started airing it out. So I'm wondering, in saying that, is his plan really to say, look, y'all really thinking too much about whether this is sustainable or not, because you're assuming that this is going to be the plan game in and game out, and it really isn't.
Yep, and that's what makes my man such a genius, is that he's willing to adapt like that. Hey, you don't get 6 Super Bowls for nothing. So you got to have some kind of mental stability up there.
I was a little surprised that N'Keal Harry wasn't more involved in the offense. He got to hold on to some balls and not fumble and stuff. But he only had 5 receptions for 39 yards.
Now, keeping it in the AFC East, talking about a quarterback who's made some strides, I got to give it to my dude in Buffalo.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Allen, yeah.
Mr. Josh Allen had himself a show for the Bills. I was extremely impressed with that. Now, at the beginning of the game, I mean, I think he had one errant throw or whatnot, but the whole rest of the game, man, pretty efficient. Got the yards going.
Well, okay, so check out this stat line with him. He ran 14 times for 57 yards.
Yep.
4.1 yards a carry. He had the most rushes of his team. Singletary had 30 yards. Zach Moss had 11. But now here's the crazy part. Allen passed 46 times in that game.
Had himself a 300-yard game, didn't he?
312 yards, two passing touchdowns. He completed 33 of those 46 passes. Very efficient. His arm still probably on some ice right now. That's a lot of passing.
Yeah. All of those numbers are career highs, man. So I was like extremely impressed with that. Now, we've been waiting for that team in the AFC East that was going to step forward and challenge the Patriots. We've been waiting for that for years.
Now, you're talking about weapons.
I think we're here.
He got Stephon Diggs, 86 yards.
Diggs?
John Brown had 70. Cole Beasley had 58. So he's got some weapons.
It's a lot of speed in the receiving positions. And you already know what I feel about my man Singletary. So Buffalo is dangerous. And the defensive side of that ball, playmakers all over the field. Half of them Panthers.
Yeah, Mario Addison. I see Mario Addison got a sack. Yeah. AJ Klein played.
Right.
I was just like, oh my gosh. You know, I think when you leave Carolina, whether you're a coach or a player, you're going to Buffalo. It's pretty much
going to Buffalo. Yeah. Yep, that's like, the Queen City North right there.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So yeah, they're looking good now. Okay, we got to bring it back to reality just for a second. They were playing the Jets, and Adam Gase is not a good coach at all. But neither is Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold threw 35 times. He hit 21 of them. He had 215 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Le'Veon Bell ran for 14 yards. They kept him down. He did catch 2 passes for 32, but their rushing game was anemic at best. Frank Gore outran everybody with 24 yards. Frank Gore's, what'd you say, 87
56 years old.
So talking about something being sustainable, if your answer is to have Frank Gore be your leading rusher, good luck with that.
And guess what? Guess what? It is their answer, to be honest. Le'Veon Bell out for several weeks with a hamstring injury now. So it is the Gore show for the next couple of weeks.
Oh my gosh. They're done. Oh
my God. Yep.
They're done.
6-year-old
and
Frank
it's nothing
Gore
against Frank, but Frank has, Frank got fewer games in front of him than they have behind him. So it's not so much a thing on Frank. It's just that, he's a good change of back still maybe, but you can't base it off of that. That's a lot to ask from somebody that's long in the tooth like that. So
the Jets are just going to have a long season themselves. And while we're on Sam Darnold, I cannot get off this podcast without tearing my man a new a-hole. That was terrible. That first half, terrible. How does my man keep a job in the NFL? Right. That's what I want to know. He is the worst quarterback right now, including Mitchell Trubisky, that I've seen in several years. Sam Darnold has a long way to go to be a quarterback in the NFL.
Speaking of Trubisky, since you brought his name up, I thought Detroit had this game won.
Yeah.
What, 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, was it?
I don't know where that came from.
They were dead.
Bears fans have been waiting for that type of performance for Trubisky since he got there.
They were dead. That game was over.
Yeah.
What in the what? What happened? Dude goes 20 for 36, 242, 3 touchdowns. He ran for 26 yards. But next week, he'll lay an egg,
Of course.
He's the bipolar Mitch, I don't know if he played better when he's Mitch and if he played worse when he's Mitchell. I don't know what it is.
You need to go back to Carolina where he was actually something.
No, I'm actually okay with my man Sam down at Carolina right now. He looking good, boy. He done got a hold of that offense. He know what he's doing at Carolina.
Look, after Trevor Lawrence do his thing and become the next NFL hot topic, it's gonna be Howell, baby. It's gonna be Howell.
Yeah, You know what? You're right. You're right.
Yep.
But yeah. So Mitch didn't do his thing. I mean, Mitch did his thing in the fourth quarter, and that was amazing. I was looking at the very first game this time last week. We were talking about how the Texas Chiefs game was going to come out.
Yep.
It kind of came. I mean, the scoring was about where I thought it would be.
Yep.
Had do not dropped the touchdown in the end zone for the Texans, it would have really been there. So, but it's 20 to 34.
Kind of played out how we kind of called it.
Absolutely.
Right down to my man Delaire.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I meant to give you your props because you called out Mr. Delaire, and homeboy said, "Welcome to the NFL." He did his thing. You a rookie, man. You're supposed to warm up a little bit, right?
Right. On the primetime stage, he acted like he had no nerves whatsoever.
25 rushes, 138 yards, 5.5 yards a carry, and a touchdown.
Just stacking yards.
Oh my God. To add to what Sammy Watkins was out there, like, Sammy, where have you been? Sammy was getting it up. Kelsey was getting it up.
The Chiefs just picked up right where they left off last year. There's no drop off whatsoever.
They did.
Yep.
They did.
I was the one saying that I was a little concerned about them not having preseason, not having time to work together offensively. Maybe they won't put up as many points as they did. They kicked off. I mean, kicked off this year, and it's just like they
Mahomes was just throwing darts, dart.
Yep.
I was like, oh my God, he's
he
making it look like he didn't have any off season. He's just
right. Chiefs are going to be right back in the picture again this year. As long as they got Mahomes and they keep him upright and healthy, as long as they got my man out there.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, if you try to double team a receiver, Hilaire is going to be hellacious. It's going to be crazy.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! Well, I know we're running out of time. I can't cover all the games, but I gotta just say this to all these folks: for years. 9 years, you wanted to blame Jason Garrett for snatching victory out of the jaws of defeat.
Bringing up the Cowboys.
Now that Jason Garrett ain't there clapping, who you gonna blame now?
Oh man,
who you blaming now?
Dallas. What can I say about the Cowboys, man?
The Redskins are winning the NFC East after one game. I'm gonna just say that, but still,
you can say that, but you can't say the R word. You can't say the R word.
Oh, sorry. It's the Washington football team.
There you go.
Washington football team. I did.
Yeah.
Just out of such joy for the Cowboys burning and not being able to blame Garrett because now he's in New York losing there. But he looked better as a coordinator. We give him that.
What is up with the Cowboys?
Oh, my gosh.
Every single year, I fall for the hype because they have so much talent on paper.
Yes.
On paper.
Rand, they scored 14 points by halftime. 3 points after that.
Disgraceful, man. Look, when you got CeeDee Lamb lining up with Cooper, and you handing off to Ezekiel Elliott, and you got my other running back, not my other running back, but the other wide receiver whose name I'm forgetting right now.
You got Cooper, Gallup.
Yeah, you got Cooper and Gallup. Thank you. Got Cooper. You got Gallup. You got CeeDee Lamb. Ball should be just like they are in Kansas City. So to put up 17 points, wow, man.
It's the Rams.
The Rams defense is not all that either. So.
No. And the only bright spot on the defense that I saw was Aldon Smith might be another candidate for comeback player of the year. Jay Glazer said he looked good. And we found out that Jay was not lying. Aldon looking good, but still might be a long year for the Cowboys if your offense is going to be that anemic. Zeke ran 22 times for 96 yards. 4.4 yards a carry. Dak ran for 30 yards himself. He threw for 266 yards. He threw the ball 39 times. Yeah. But that's just garbage. I mean, those are empty calories. because you're just going back between the 20s. You're not getting it in the end zone.
Yep. It's
How
not
you
going
throw
to be
266 yards and you pass for 1 touchdown?
good. It's going to be a long year in Dallas, man, if they don't get it together.
I'm
With all
sorry.
that talent there.
I had to go ahead and jump on these Cowboys, especially these fans, because every year they're gonna win the Super Bowl. You know that's their
Every
home
year it's
thing.
going to be their year.
Every year is this year. Anyway, so do you have a game of the week for this week coming up? I know we got a handful of games this week. We having the Bengals and the Browns tomorrow, if you want to call that a game. I mean, you get to see Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow in prime time is not a bad one.
But then you got Baker on the other side, who looked like garbage.
Ooh, Cleveland Brown fans. Wow.
Every time I see Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, and I see that Colin Kaepernick is not in the NFL, I just shrug.
Look, man, that's a whole nother issue right there. That is a whole nother issue right there.
Yeah, I know it is, but my God, get the man a tryout, something.
I'm telling you,
You're gonna leave Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield in there.
Don't forget about Trubisky.
These dudes should be parking cars next year. I'm telling you.
Oh my God, man! It don't get no worse.
This is why McNown can still be a backup in the NFL. This is why Ryan Fitzpatrick can still be a backup in the NFL, because you got these guys playing.
Bombs, man, straight bombs. Game of the week. To be honest, I ain't really looked at the schedule too hard, but I do know the Panthers have Tom Brady and the Bucks this week.
Oh, Jesus.
So I'm interested in that.
You gonna light them up? It's in Tampa. It's in Tampa.
I'm just interested in what kind of horror show that's going to look like this year.
I think Mike Evans is going to have about 120 yards.
Oh,
I think Brady's going to pass for 300, especially after Mr. Goatee and Cap Bruce Arians sat there and criticized.
Called him out, didn't he? Called him out publicly.
He ain't used to that.
Brady ain't used to that.
I think Gronk's going to have a great game because the short game is going to get into effect. I think Fournette is going to run all over them this week. They wet him. They gave him a little bit of play, but they're really going to get Fournette going this week.
Yeah, man. This could be a 20-pointer.
My game of the week is actually a 4:00 game on Sunday. Ravens, Texans.
Okay, not a bad matchup.
In Houston. Let's see if the Lamar show can get on the road, because after what he did, and I ain't gonna lie, I really expected a little bit of regression, but his passing was on point.
Right back up from last year, just like old Mahomes. He threw
one a little bit over Andrews, but Andrews got them big old mitts, and he just reached back and grabbed it and still pulled it in for the touchdown. But it was a pass where either he was going to catch it or nobody was going to catch it. So he put it in that kind of position where it wasn't going to get picked at all. I love watching his progressions. He's doing a lot better with that. And the thing I like about Lamar, he does use his legs, but the whole time he's using his legs, he's still looking to pass.
He is.
If you think about it, the entire time he's looking to pass. And then when he just finally realizes, okay, I'm going to step over the line of scrimmage, then he'll bring it down. But he goes all the way up into that line before he
I read a story about him, or saw an interview about him a few years ago, that he was really motivated by that playoff loss, and where he kind of got tossed in there in the second half, and he looked terrible a few years ago. So he really hammered down in the playbook, put in the extra time, and it is showing. I give my man his props. I was expecting some type of regression this season, but as what he put on the field for game one, no regression so far.
If that's how the rest of the season is going to look, that's the AFC champion right there. I'm sorry. I mean, not the AFC champion, but they're going to take it to the conference championship. With I see it. So I know it's just week one, so we will definitely keep our eyes open and everything. Appreciate your time as always, sir. We're going to sit there and see how this goes, but not bad start offensively to week one. You know, we were talking a lot about, you know, defenses will probably get it going first, but I saw some serious scoring going on. So
a lot of scoring going on. Yep.
Yeah. Which makes it fun. We like to see our touchdowns.
Yeah, makes it good for fantasy.
Unless you're the Giants and you had Saquon.
Right.
But Steeler fans, y'all making me believe. I see you. I see you, Juju Smith. I see you, Schuster.
See us, baby. See Big Ben, too.
Ben looking nice. Keep him off the ground, y'all.
Yes.
Keep him off the ground, and he will reward you mightily.
Amen
All
to
right.
that.
Well, Rand, good luck with your Steelers. Let's pray that the Panthers' funeral isn't so bad. But all I can say is Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence.
Keep hope alive for Trevor Lawrence.
We're going to get up out of here. Thanks, y'all, for coming. This is Brian Parker, Randall Hargrove, Head to Head Sports. We'll see y'all again next week.